Your soulmate hired a lawyer just 5 minutes ago. They are getting divorced from. God says, my child, listen closely. I know why your heart feels restless today. I know the quiet questions you have carried into the night. You have asked me if the waiting has meaning. You have wondered if love has forgotten your name. It has not. I have been working in places your eyes could never reach. Even now, while you listen, I am touching a heart that once believed it could never heal. 5 minutes ago, your soulmate made a decision that did not begin today. It began through many silent prayers, many sleepless nights, and many moments when they looked at the ceiling and whispered, Lord, please show me the truth. This moment is not about revenge. It is not about celebrating another person's pain. It is about honesty finally stepping into the light after a long season of hiding. If these words speak to your heart, quietly type Amen below, not because you know the future, but because you choose to trust me one more time. My child, listen carefully. Your soulmate did not wake up one morning wanting everything to fall apart. They fought for peace longer than anyone around them realized. They smiled when people expected them to smile. They carried conversations that sounded normal while their heart felt exhausted. Every evening they sat beside a window, listening to soft rain tap against the glass, wondering how a promise that once felt beautiful could become so heavy. They opened an old Bible more than once, hoping one verse would calm the storm inside them. I heard every prayer they spoke. I also heard the prayers they could not put into words. They never hid those tears from me. You have wondered why I allowed such a long delay. My child, some hearts cannot be restored until the truth is fully revealed. I never rush healing. I never build lasting peace on hidden wounds. There were conversations that needed to happen. There were masks that needed to fall away. There were painful lessons that both of you had to learn before your paths could move closer together. What looked like silence was my patient work. What looked like distance was my careful protection. This decision to hire a lawyer did not appear from nowhere. It grew slowly through months of reflection. There were broken promises that no one else saw. There were lonely dinners where two people shared the same table but lived in different worlds. There were quiet drives home without conversation. There were apologies that changed nothing because actions never followed the words. Your soulmate kept asking me if hope was still possible. I answered with peace, not panic. I reminded them that truth is never their enemy. My beloved child, do not allow your imagination to replace my voice. Do not create fearful endings before I have finished my work. Some details belong only to me. Some answers arrive one step at a time. Your responsibility is not to force the future. Your responsibility is to remain faithful today. While you were worrying about tomorrow, I was already arranging moments of healing that neither of you expected. There is something you could not see. On one quiet morning your soulmate stood alone before leaving for work. The house felt strangely empty. They looked into a mirror and barely recognized the tired face looking back at them. Instead of speaking to another person, they spoke to me. They asked if they had failed. They asked if they had waited too long. They asked if life could ever feel peaceful again. I did not answer with thunder. I answered with gentle calm. That peace remained with them through every difficult conversation that followed. My child, I also remember your prayers. I remember the nights when your phone stayed silent. I remember how you wondered whether anyone truly understood your heart. I remember every disappointment that tempted you to stop believing. Still, you kept walking. Even when your faith felt small, you continued taking another step. I honored those quiet moments more than you know. Soon after that prayer, your soulmate met with someone they trusted. It was not a dramatic meeting. There were no loud voices. There were only honest questions and careful listening. They finally admitted they had been pretending everything was fine. Speaking those words felt frightening at first. Yet the truth began lifting a weight they had carried for far too long. Sometimes healing begins with one honest sentence. Listen carefully, my child. Choosing legal help does not automatically solve every problem. It simply means your soulmate has decided they cannot continue living inside confusion forever. They are choosing clarity instead of endless pretending. They are choosing honesty instead of fear. That choice required courage. Courage often arrives quietly. You may ask why I am telling you this today. I am telling you because I do not want you building your future on worry. I want you building it on trust. Do not chase after answers that are not yours to control. Pray instead of worrying. Place every question into my hands. I am already working where you cannot yet see. There will be moments when old memories return. Your soulmate still remembers laughter that once filled empty rooms. They remember dreams that seemed certain years ago. Letting go of those memories is not easy. Healing rarely happens all at once. It happens one faithful choice at a time. Each choice opens another door toward peace. My beloved child, I am also preparing your heart. Love that lasts must grow from wisdom as well as emotion. I am teaching you patience. I am teaching you compassion. I am removing fear little by little. When the right moment comes, you will not stand before each other as the same people you once were. You will both carry deeper kindness because of everything you have survived. Today I ask you to notice the small signs of my presence. Notice the morning light entering your room. Notice the gentle breeze outside your window. Notice the quiet peace that arrives during prayer. These are reminders that I have never abandoned you. My love has remained constant through every unanswered question. There is one number I want you to remember today. It is 777. Do not treat it like magic. Let it simply remind you that my promises remain steady even when your emotions rise and fall. Whenever you remember it, pause for a moment. Take one slow breath. Whisper a simple prayer. Let your heart rest in me again. Your soulmate still has conversations ahead. Important choices remain. Some doors must close with honesty before healthier ones can open. I will walk beside them through every meeting, every signature, and every difficult goodbye. I will also walk beside you. Neither of you will travel this path alone. If you know someone whose heart has almost given up on hope, share this message with them. Sometimes one reminder of my faithfulness becomes the beginning of someone else's healing. My child, listen closely. The lawyer was only the first visible step. The greater work is happening inside your soulmate's heart, where fear is slowly becoming courage and regret is becoming wisdom. In the moments ahead, I will reveal why this decision had to happen before your paths could move closer together. When that truth comes into the light, you will understand my timing in a way you never imagined. Until then, stay near me, keep praying, and let peace guide every step. Type Amen if you choose to trust me as the next part of this message unfolds. My child, listen carefully. Do not mistake a legal decision for the end of every hope. Sometimes the closing of one chapter is simply the beginning of honest healing. Your soulmate walked out of that lawyer's office carrying more than a folder of papers. They carried a quiet mixture of relief, sadness, gratitude, and uncertainty. Their hands trembled as they opened the car door. They sat behind the steering wheel without starting the engine. The silence felt heavy, yet it also felt different. For the first time in a very long season, they no longer felt trapped inside endless confusion. They bowed their head and whispered, "Lord, I do not know what comes next, but I cannot keep living without your peace." I heard every word. I answered with a calm that no human voice could have given. That calm did not erase every fear, but it reminded them they would never walk alone again. My child, I want you to understand something important. I have never been asking either of you to be perfect. I have only been asking both of you to remain willing. A willing heart can be healed. A willing heart can forgive. A willing heart can grow beyond yesterday. This is why I have been working quietly while neither of you could fully see my hand. You were looking for sudden answers. I was building lasting foundations. What lasts is always worth waiting for. My beloved child, there were many evenings when your soulmate opened an old box filled with forgotten memories. Inside were faded photographs, handwritten notes, and little reminders of happier days. They did not open that box to remain stuck in the past. They opened it because they wanted to understand where everything slowly changed. They searched for the moment when laughter became silence. They searched for the day hope quietly slipped away. As each picture passed through their hands, they realized something unexpected. The happiest memories were not built on expensive gifts or perfect plans. They were built on honesty, kindness, shared faith, and simple moments together. That realization became another step toward healing. They understood they were no longer chasing an old life that could never return. Instead, they began asking me to prepare them for a healthier future, one built on truth instead of appearances. My child, I want the same for you. Do not spend your days trying to recreate yesterday. Trust me to prepare something stronger than what was lost. My plans are never copies of the past. They are new mercies waiting to unfold. Listen closely. There is another truth I want you to know. While your soulmate has been making difficult choices, I have also been protecting your own heart in ways you may never fully understand. There were relationships that looked promising but would have stolen your peace. There were opportunities that seemed exciting but would have pulled you away from my purpose. You called some of those moments disappointments. I called them protection. Even now you remember prayers that seemed unanswered. Yet if you could see everything I have seen, you would thank me for every closed door that once made you cry. My child, never judge my love by temporary delays. My timing is measured by wisdom, not by human clocks. I know exactly when healing becomes genuine. I know exactly when two hearts are ready to meet without carrying the same wounds that once separated them. There is something your soulmate has not told many people. They have stopped asking me to change someone else. Instead, they have started asking me to change themselves. That prayer has touched my heart because true transformation always begins within. They now spend quiet mornings reading scripture before the noise of the day begins. Sometimes they pause over one verse for several minutes. Sometimes tears fall onto the page before they can even finish reading. Those tears are no longer only tears of pain. They are becoming tears of surrender. Every time they place another burden into my hands, I replace a little more fear with peace. Healing often happens so gently that people do not notice it at first. Yet one day they suddenly realize they are no longer carrying the same weight they once believed would remain forever. My child, I know you have wondered whether your name has ever crossed your soulmate's mind during this season. I will not ask you to build your hope on imagination. Instead, I ask you to build your confidence on my faithfulness. What belongs to your future will arrive through my wisdom, not through endless guessing. Continue praying. Continue growing. Continue becoming the person I created you to be. When two hearts grow closer to me, they naturally become healthier for every relationship I choose to place before them. That is why your own growth matters just as much as theirs. I am not preparing only one life. I am preparing two. As the days moved forward, another conversation took place inside the lawyer's office. It was quieter than expected. There was no shouting. No anger filled the room. Only careful questions and thoughtful answers. Your soulmate realized they were not fighting for revenge. They were choosing honesty after carrying too much silence. That realization surprised even them. They left understanding that peace does not come from winning against another person. Peace comes from walking in truth with me beside you. This lesson will remain with them for years to come. It will shape the way they speak. It will shape the way they love. It will shape the way they trust again. My beloved child, I also want to prepare your expectations. Healing is beautiful, but healing is rarely fast. There will still be quiet mornings. There will still be moments when old memories return without warning. There will still be days when your soulmate asks me for strength instead of answers. Do not fear those moments. They are signs that real healing is taking place instead of being hidden behind false smiles. Broken places become stronger when they are placed into my hands instead of being covered by pride. Keep your own heart soft during this season. Refuse bitterness. Refuse jealousy. Refuse the temptation to compare your path with someone else's. I have written your days with purpose. No one can steal what I have truly prepared for you. Continue showing kindness even when others choose anger. Continue choosing forgiveness even when resentment feels easier. Every faithful decision you make becomes another brick in the peaceful future I am building for you. If this message reminds you of someone who has almost stopped believing that healing is possible, share these words with them today. Sometimes hope returns through one quiet reminder that I am still working behind the scenes when nothing seems to be changing. Never underestimate the power of simple encouragement offered with love. My child, listen closely. The papers your soulmate signed did not complete the work I am doing. They only marked the beginning of a new season where honesty has finally replaced fear. There is another conversation approaching that will reveal how deeply I have been guiding every step. When that moment arrives, both you and your soulmate will recognize that my hand has been present from the very beginning. Until then, remain patient, remain faithful, and remain close to me. The peace I have already placed inside your heart is preparing you for the truth that is still waiting just ahead. My child, listen carefully. There is something I have been waiting to reveal at the right moment. Your soulmate has begun to understand that freedom is not simply walking away from what caused pain. Freedom is learning to walk toward what is true without carrying bitterness in the heart. That lesson has changed the way they pray. Their prayers sound different now. They no longer ask me to erase every difficult memory. Instead, they ask me to redeem those memories by using them to build wisdom. Each morning they sit quietly before the day begins. The room is still. A warm cup of coffee rests beside an open Bible. Morning light stretches across the table. They breathe slowly and whisper, "Father, teach me how to love the way you love." Those simple words carry more power than they realize because a heart willing to learn is already moving closer to healing. I smile over that prayer. I gently strengthen them one day at a time. They do not notice every change, yet people around them are beginning to see a quiet peace replacing the heaviness that once covered their face. My beloved child, while your soulmate has been changing inside, I have also been speaking to you through quiet moments that seemed ordinary. Remember those mornings when you suddenly felt calm after days of worry. Remember the unexpected kindness from a stranger. Remember the worship song that seemed to answer a question you never asked aloud. Those were not accidents. I was reminding you that my presence has never left your side. Even when you believed nothing was happening, I was carefully arranging small moments that strengthened your faith. I rarely rush my work because lasting peace grows slowly. A tree becomes strong through many seasons. In the same way, a faithful heart becomes steady through many quiet days spent with me. Do not despise those hidden seasons. They often prepare the greatest blessings. Listen closely. After meeting with the lawyer, your soulmate returned home carrying more than legal documents. They carried a surprising sense of responsibility. Instead of blaming everyone else, they began asking themselves difficult questions. They looked honestly at their own mistakes. They admitted where fear had kept them silent. They recognized moments when they ignored my gentle guidance because they hoped circumstances would somehow change on their own. My child, that honesty matters deeply. Healing cannot grow where pride refuses to bend. Yet when humility enters the heart, my grace begins flowing like fresh water through dry ground. That is exactly what has begun inside your soulmate. They are allowing me to rebuild what pain once tried to destroy. I know you sometimes wonder if all this waiting has any purpose. Let me answer that with love. If I had brought the two of you together before this season, old wounds would have followed you into every conversation. Fear would have spoken louder than trust. Unhealed memories would have stolen joy from new beginnings. I desired something better for both of you. I wanted peace to become stronger than fear. I wanted wisdom to become stronger than emotion. I wanted faith to become the foundation beneath every future decision. That is why I asked you to wait. Waiting has never been my punishment. It has always been my protection. My child, there will soon come a day when your soulmate no longer introduces themselves by their pain. They will no longer define their future by what ended. Instead, they will quietly thank me for carrying them through a season they once believed would destroy them. That day is closer than they realize. They are learning to smile again without pretending. They are learning to rest without guilt. They are learning that hope is not foolish when it is placed in my hands. Every lesson has become another stone in the strong foundation I am building beneath their life. There is another truth you have not yet seen. Someone close to your soulmate has noticed the change taking place. They expected anger. They expected resentment. Instead, they found gentleness. They found patience. They found someone who still chose kindness even while facing difficult decisions. That quiet testimony has opened conversations about faith that never would have happened before. You see only one chapter. I see every life being touched through each faithful decision. My plans always reach farther than human understanding. My beloved child, guard your own heart carefully during this season. Do not spend your time searching for signs everywhere you look. Spend your time searching for me. When you seek my presence first, confusion slowly loses its voice. Anxiety becomes quieter. Peace grows stronger. I never asked you to carry tomorrow. I only ask you to walk with me today. That simple step of trust is enough. Every sunrise is another reminder that my mercy begins again. Every evening is another invitation to place your worries into my hands before you rest. Sometimes you imagine that your soulmate has forgotten certain moments connected to you. My child, memories do not disappear so easily. Yet I am not asking either of you to live inside old memories forever. I am teaching both of you to value the lessons more than the pain. Healthy love grows when two hearts choose honesty, grace, and patience together. That kind of love cannot be forced. It must grow naturally under my care. I am cultivating that growth even now. As evening falls, your soulmate often sits quietly before turning off the lights. They no longer fill every silent moment with noise. Instead, they have learned to welcome stillness because they have discovered that my voice is easiest to hear when the world becomes quiet. In those peaceful moments I remind them that no mistake is beyond my mercy. No disappointment is beyond my healing. No broken season is beyond my ability to redeem. Those words have become anchors for their soul. Each night they sleep a little more peacefully than the night before. My child, your own future is not hanging by a thread. It rests securely in my hands. That truth should calm every fearful thought trying to enter your mind. I have never lost sight of your purpose. I have never forgotten the promises I placed inside your heart. Continue growing in kindness. Continue choosing forgiveness. Continue trusting me when the road seems longer than expected. The person you are becoming today will one day thank me for every lesson you could not understand while living through it. Before long, another important conversation will take place. It will not be driven by fear. It will be guided by honesty, wisdom, and peace. Your soulmate will recognize that I have been leading each step long before they noticed my hand. When that conversation begins, many unanswered questions will finally start finding their place. Until then, remain close to me. Walk gently. Pray faithfully. Let hope remain alive inside your heart. I am still writing what comes next, and every page is being shaped with love, wisdom, and perfect timing. My child, listen carefully. As the days continue to unfold, your soulmate begins to notice something they had almost forgotten. Peace is becoming more familiar than fear. They still remember the difficult conversations. They still remember the long nights and unanswered questions. Yet those memories no longer control every thought. Instead, they remind them of how faithfully I carried them through every valley. One evening they returned home after another meeting connected to the divorce. The sky was painted with soft shades of orange and gold. They stood quietly outside before opening the front door. A gentle breeze brushed across their face, and they closed their eyes for a moment. They whispered, "Thank you, Lord, for bringing me this far." Those simple words rose to heaven with sincere gratitude. My child, gratitude has a beautiful way of healing places that sorrow alone could never reach. Every thankful prayer makes room for greater peace to enter the heart. That is what I have been cultivating inside your soulmate, one quiet day after another. My beloved child, I also want you to understand something about timing. Many people believe my timing is delayed because they only see the clock. I see the condition of every heart. I know when someone is emotionally ready. I know when forgiveness has become genuine instead of forced. I know when wisdom has replaced impulsive decisions. If I moved before those changes happened, neither of you would experience the fullness of the peace I desire for you. That is why I never hurry my work. Every season has been preparing both of you for something healthier than you imagined. The waiting has not been empty. It has been filled with unseen growth. While you counted days, I was restoring hearts. Listen closely. After hiring the lawyer, your soulmate expected to feel only relief. Instead, they experienced a mixture of emotions. There was sadness for dreams that never became reality. There was compassion for everyone affected by the separation. There was quiet hope that life could still become beautiful again. Above all, there was a growing trust that I had not abandoned them. They realized something important during one peaceful afternoon. Freedom without my guidance would still leave the heart empty. True freedom comes from walking beside me. That realization changed everything. It became the beginning of a deeper relationship with me than they had ever known before. There were evenings when they sat inside a small church long after the service had ended. Most people had already gone home. The lights were dim. Soft worship music still played through the speakers. They remained seated in silence, looking toward the cross. They did not ask me for immediate answers anymore. They simply rested in my presence. Sometimes no words were spoken at all. Yet those silent moments accomplished more healing than endless conversations ever could. My child, never underestimate the power of sitting quietly with me. I often do my greatest work in moments when the world becomes still. My child, while your soulmate has been finding peace, I have also been strengthening your own heart in ways you may not recognize yet. There were days when disappointment almost convinced you to lower your expectations for life. Yet I quietly reminded you that my plans are never limited by your past experiences. I have not called you to live in fear of what might happen. I have called you to live with confidence in who I am. Every time you chose faith instead of worry, another layer of strength formed within you. That strength will become a blessing in the days ahead. Your soulmate has also started rebuilding ordinary parts of life that once felt impossible. They cook simple meals instead of skipping dinner. They take peaceful walks during the evening instead of sitting alone with anxious thoughts. They laugh more naturally when talking with trusted friends. These may seem like small changes, but they reveal something much deeper. Healing is no longer just an idea. It is becoming part of daily life. Every ordinary moment filled with peace becomes another reminder that I truly restore broken hearts. My beloved child, I know there are moments when you wonder whether your paths will truly cross at the right time. Instead of asking you to imagine every future detail, I invite you to trust my character. I have never been careless with your life. I have never forgotten a single prayer you offered through tears. Even the prayers you spoke years ago remain precious before me. Some answers arrive quickly. Others require seasons of preparation. Neither kind of answer reflects how much I love you. My love remains constant through every season. Not long after beginning the legal process, your soulmate received unexpected encouragement from someone older in faith. The conversation was simple, yet unforgettable. They were reminded that no earthly ending has the authority to cancel my purpose. Those words stayed with them for days. Whenever discouragement tried to return, they remembered that gentle reminder. They began believing again that my plans could still unfold beautifully, even after disappointment. Hope slowly replaced hesitation. Confidence quietly replaced fear. I also want to prepare you for something important. Do not expect every step ahead to be effortless. There will still be paperwork. There will still be emotional conversations. There will still be moments that require patience. Yet none of those moments will be faced without my presence. I will continue giving wisdom exactly when it is needed. I will continue opening the right doors at the right time. I will continue closing the doors that would only bring confusion. You do not have to carry the future alone because I already stand within tomorrow. My child, guard your words during this season. Speak life instead of fear. Speak hope instead of doubt. Refuse to let discouragement become the loudest voice in your heart. Every word rooted in faith strengthens your own spirit. Your soulmate is learning this same lesson. They have become slower to speak in anger and quicker to pause before responding. That quiet maturity is evidence of my work within them. Transformation often appears first in the way a person speaks. As another week passes, your soulmate notices they no longer feel defined by the divorce itself. It is becoming one chapter of life instead of the entire identity. They begin looking forward instead of constantly looking behind. They smile when they see the sunrise. They thank me for another opportunity to grow. They believe once again that healthy love is possible because they now understand that love built on truth never needs to hide. That realization fills their heart with peaceful expectation rather than anxious longing. My beloved child, continue placing your trust in me. Continue praying instead of worrying. Continue allowing me to shape your heart each day. The legal process is moving forward, but an even greater work is happening where no document can reach. I am restoring confidence. I am healing hidden wounds. I am preparing conversations that will be marked by honesty instead of fear. Before long, another significant moment will arrive that reveals why this entire season had to unfold exactly as it has. When that moment comes, you will recognize that I was never late. I was faithfully guiding every step with wisdom, grace, and perfect love. My child, listen carefully. The days ahead will not be remembered because of the legal papers alone. They will be remembered because they became the beginning of a heart that finally chose truth over comfort. Your soulmate has started waking earlier than before. Before the world grows noisy, they sit quietly near a window where the morning light slowly fills the room. They hold a warm cup of coffee in their hands, open my word, and allow the silence to settle around them. They are no longer searching for quick answers. They are searching for me. That small change has transformed everything. A heart that seeks my presence before seeking solutions will never walk without hope. Every sunrise reminds them that my mercy has begun again. Every breath reminds them that I have carried them farther than they ever imagined possible. My beloved child, I know there are moments when your own heart becomes tired. You wonder how much longer you should keep trusting me when you cannot yet see the complete picture. I understand those questions because I have heard every one of them. I have watched you remain faithful even when your emotions were uncertain. I have seen the tears you never showed another person. I have listened to the quiet prayers whispered into the darkness when sleep would not come. None of those moments have been forgotten. Every prayer has become part of the beautiful work I am completing. Do not measure my faithfulness by what your eyes can see today. Measure it by the love I have already shown throughout your life. I have never abandoned you. I never will. Listen closely. One afternoon your soulmate received another phone call from the lawyer. It was not dramatic. It was calm and professional. They were told that the next steps would require patience and careful decisions. After ending the call, they did not feel panic. Instead, they closed their eyes for a moment and quietly thanked me for giving them peace. Months earlier that same conversation would have filled them with fear. Now it filled them with quiet confidence because they knew I was walking beside them. That is what healing looks like. It is not the absence of challenges. It is the presence of my peace in the middle of them. Your soulmate has also begun noticing small blessings that once escaped their attention. They smile when they hear birds singing outside. They enjoy simple meals without feeling rushed. They laugh more freely during conversations with trusted family members. These ordinary moments are becoming sacred because they remind them that life still holds beauty after disappointment. My child, never overlook the simple gifts I place before you each day. A peaceful morning. A kind word. A gentle breeze. A familiar hymn. These quiet blessings strengthen the soul more than many people realize. There is another truth I want you to understand. Your soulmate has stopped asking whether people will approve of every decision they make. Instead, they ask whether their choices honor me. That change has brought remarkable freedom. Living to satisfy every opinion always leads to exhaustion. Living to follow my wisdom leads to peace. They still care about others. They still choose kindness. Yet they no longer allow fear of criticism to control their future. They have learned that obedience sometimes requires courage that others may never fully understand. My child, I have also been preparing people around both of you. There are conversations that will happen at exactly the right time. There are friendships that will provide encouragement when it is most needed. There are moments of unexpected kindness that will remind you my hand has been present all along. I rarely work through one life alone. I often send encouragement through ordinary people whose simple words arrive at exactly the right moment. Remain open to those moments. They are gifts from me. As another evening arrives, your soulmate returns home after a long day. They place their keys on the table and notice how quiet the house feels. That silence no longer frightens them. Instead, it has become a place where they meet with me. They sit comfortably in a chair, bow their head, and thank me for carrying them through another day. They pray for wisdom instead of shortcuts. They pray for forgiveness instead of resentment. They pray that every future relationship will be built upon honesty and faith. Those prayers are changing them from the inside out. The person they are becoming is stronger, gentler, and far more compassionate than the person who first walked into the lawyer's office. My beloved child, your own preparation continues as well. I am teaching you not to rush ahead of my timing. There is wisdom in waiting with confidence instead of waiting with fear. Many people waste precious seasons worrying about tomorrow. I invite you to live differently. Receive today's grace. Walk faithfully through today's responsibilities. Trust me with tomorrow. When tomorrow arrives, my grace will already be waiting there for you. You never have to borrow strength from a future that has not yet come. Sometimes your soulmate remembers the day they first realized the marriage could not continue as it had been. They remember sitting quietly after another difficult conversation. The room felt heavy. Words had become empty. Promises no longer carried the same meaning. In that painful moment they asked me for honesty, even if honesty required a difficult road. Looking back now, they understand I answered that prayer. Not with instant comfort, but with steady guidance. One faithful step led to another until they found themselves standing where they are today. They no longer see that prayer as the beginning of an ending. They see it as the beginning of healing. My child, never believe that I delight in broken relationships. My desire has always been truth, peace, and restoration wherever possible. Yet I also know when a heart has reached the place where honesty must replace endless pretending. I remain close to every person who seeks me with sincerity. My compassion never runs out. My grace is never exhausted. My wisdom is never confused. You can safely place your future into my hands because I already know the path ahead. As the legal process continues, your soulmate begins making practical decisions with greater confidence. They organize important papers. They create new routines. They plan for the future without fear controlling every thought. Each small decision becomes another reminder that life is moving forward. They are no longer surviving one difficult day at a time. They are beginning to build a peaceful future with me at the center of every choice. That quiet confidence did not appear overnight. It grew through many prayers, many tears, and many moments of surrender. My beloved child, I ask you to protect your heart from impatience. Do not compare your journey with anyone else's. Every life unfolds according to my perfect wisdom. The pace of another person's blessing has nothing to do with your own. Keep your eyes on me. Continue growing in faith. Continue showing kindness. Continue forgiving quickly. The character I am forming within you is more valuable than anything this world could offer. It will become a blessing not only to you but also to everyone whose life you touch. Soon another meaningful conversation will take place, one filled with honesty instead of fear. It will confirm what I have been quietly doing since the very beginning of this season. Your soulmate will recognize that every difficult step has been leading toward greater freedom, deeper faith, and a heart prepared to love with wisdom rather than fear. When that moment arrives, both of you will understand more clearly why I asked you to trust me instead of rushing ahead. Until then, remain close to me, walk in peace, and remember this simple truth every day. I am still writing your future with perfect love, and every page is being shaped by my faithful hands. My child, listen carefully. Before this message comes to an end, I want you to rest your heart in one simple truth. I have never stopped working. Even when you could not see my hand, I was guiding every step with wisdom and love. The decision your soulmate made to seek legal help was not the destination. It was the beginning of choosing honesty over fear, peace over pretending, and healing over endless pain. I walked beside them through every difficult conversation. I comforted them during every lonely night. I strengthened them when they believed they had nothing left to give. The same loving hand that carried them has also been carrying you. Neither of you has ever walked this path alone. My beloved child, do not allow fear to write the ending of a chapter that I am still completing. Human eyes often see broken pieces, but I see the whole picture. I know every tear you have cried. I know every prayer you whispered when no one else was listening. I know every moment you questioned whether hope was still alive. My answer has always been the same. Hope remains because I remain. My love has not changed. My faithfulness has not weakened. My purpose for your life has not disappeared. If your paths are meant to come together according to my will, they will meet in my perfect timing, not through pressure or fear, but through hearts that have been transformed by grace. If I lead you in a different direction, I will still surround you with my peace and never leave you without my presence. Trust me more than your own understanding. I will always lead you toward what is good. Continue choosing kindness. Continue forgiving. Continue praying instead of worrying. Let my peace guard your heart each morning and each night. Build your life upon faith, honesty, and compassion. Those foundations will never fail you. When you feel uncertain, open my word. When you feel weak, speak to me. When you feel alone, remember that I am closer than your next breath. I delight in walking with my children. I delight in restoring weary hearts. I delight in giving hope where the world only sees endings. One day you will look back on this season and understand that what seemed like delay was actually preparation. What felt like silence was my gentle guidance. What appeared to be loss became the doorway to deeper wisdom and stronger faith. You will see that my grace carried you farther than your own strength ever could. Go forward with confidence, my child. Do not be afraid of tomorrow. I am already there. Walk in peace. Walk in faith. Walk in my love. I will never leave you, and I will never forsake you. If this message has encouraged your heart, type Amen as your prayer of trust, and remember each day that my plans are always rooted in hope, truth, and everlasting love.